A very warm welcome. Happy New Year for, well, a lot of the world anyway. It's episode 124 on this New Year's Eve 2020. One that has arguably been a memorable year, if not all for positive reasons. But anyway, we're going to talk about New Year's traditions around the world, and is actually today a new year for everybody in the world? Stick around, we'll chat about it. Yes, welcome back. This is the show of the business of culture and the culture of business. And of course, it's not all business because today is probably arguably a day off for a lot of people, wouldn't you say? What about you, pal? How are you?
I never have a day off. I'm always on. Welcome, everybody, to the final 2020 episode of Two Chaps, Many Cultures, episode 124. So we got 124 episodes in this year. I am surprised, happy, and quite accomplished that we did this. Nice. And I will not say the phrase that you said in the intro, the happy something, because in my culture and in many other cultures, uttering the wish or the well wish upon the day of what we're wishing well upon, if we do that prematurely, there's a supposition that this is bad luck, right? Or we just simply don't do it. It's like we don't wish a happy birthday before the actual birthday, and so forth. So in my culture, the German culture, I think in the French culture as well, and many other European cultures, doing it prematurely is like, let's wait till it's actually the time. Like in Japan, right? They ring one of those big bells 108 times. And 107 of these times they ring it in the old year. And the 108th time is when the clock strikes midnight on the night between December 31st and January 1st. And I think it's got something to do with some demons, devils, bad spirits, and there's 108 of them that we need to knock out, so to say.
Oh, so should we
these interesting things.
Number one, go through them all, right? Have we got time for that?
Well, COVID and racism and political division and conspiracy theorists, and what else was there this year that we could discuss?
Alternative facts, all these things. Let's just get them out. Let's get some positive energy in this world. Well, speaking of Japan, we wanted to. There we go.
Here's it. Akemashite omedetou gozaimasu. Oh gosh, Sue, you are tasking us with something that is not easy for me to do. Well, but I would
put this image up, of course, so Sue can help us with this, the tradition of cleaning, deep cleaning, before we go into the new year. Now, there is a term for that, and I've completely forgotten it. There is a term that describes that, and if we had Sue here, she could probably pronounce it much better than we would. Ushuji, I think, something like that. The tradition of cleaning out, it's like we do spring cleaning, don't we? Oftentimes, you think about spring cleaning, we do that to prepare for the season, the warm seasons. We did great. Thank you, Sue. That's very kind of you. It's good to have friends in high places. And so, but this is a tradition apparently before we change over into the new year. So that's an interesting one, yeah? Yeah, good one. And of course, I hope there's lots of sushi involved. That would be the main thing too.
Yeah, not in my tradition though. What do you eat in Australia for New Year? Because in Australia, it is already the New Year. So
it is, yeah.
Australians are way ahead of our times, right?
Absolutely.
So what do you guys eat down under?
That's right. Well, the world will never end today because there's always tomorrow in Australia. That's what we say. Of course, Australia is not the first place on the planet that celebrates this version of a New Year change.
Kiribati, I think, is first.
Yeah, and then, of
In
course,
Vanuatu.
and one of the only times that New Zealander is ahead of Australia is New Year. So we'll give them that one. We'll give them that one. For those Kiwis that are watching, I apologise for it.
All right.
So that's good. So we get the enjoyment of watching the wonderful, what would normally be a wonderful celebration. And I've actually been there on the harbour on a couple of occasions when they've lit the fireworks. It's a full 15 minutes of musical extravaganza combined with fireworks, time to go off the fireworks, and it is one of the most spectacular experiences you can have. A little bit downplayed this year. I think they only went for 8 minutes with the fireworks, which is only probably about $10 million worth of fire going up in smoke. But
what do you guys eat in that under? What's the traditional New Year's Eve meal? Is there a tradition?
I don't remember a traditional New Year's Eve meal as such. It was just a time that we just got together and had a party. It was another excuse to party. Of course, it's summertime. We can get outside. We can go to the beach. We can do all kinds of stuff. And it is. There's nothing really that kind of showed traditions. Although, I had a store. I had one of my stores back in Australia, and next door was a Greek takeout store, right? So we had fast food, and my friend Con used to hang onions outside of the store before, and he used to do it in his home too. And this is the tradition in Greece, for example, of putting onions outside of the door of your house, and then apparently in the morning you've got to wake up your kids by banging them on the head. I think this is great. Any excuse for banging my kids on the head with something hard is good.
I think the onion is I think it could alternatively be another vegetable that has a strong smell, because I think it's the sign of fertility, of having good harvest in the new year, right?
Yeah.
So since you guys in Australia only have an excuse for a party, Sue sets the record straight. No sushi, but soba noodles at midnight.
Oh yes, noodles. Of course, yes. Noodles. Okay. Forgot about that. Yes.
And what's here? We got Patricia saying Happy New Year's Eve. See, we can say that. Happy New Year's Eve.
Yes.
Right. Well, so in Germany, we have a different word for it, because in the Catholic belief system, there are name days for every day on the Gregorian calendar. And December 31st is Saint Sylvester. So today in Germany, New Year's Eve, December 31st, is Sylvester. So you would ask people, hey, what are you guys doing on Sylvester?
Yeah.
Well, we're staying home because we're not going outside in a pandemic and it's a lockdown anyway. So what do we do at home when we celebrate Sylvester? There's a lot of things you can do, but one of the traditions, I think there's many weird Germanic traditions around this day, but probably the weirdest of them all is this. So we call it Bleigießen. So that means we're casting lead. I'm not sure if it's really lead that's in those packages, but you see that ladle or that spoon, and that had been heated, usually over like a candle or so. And there's a metal in there that's easily molten. Maybe there's some lead in it, but lead is not good for your health. So I'm suspecting they're doing some other thing, maybe zinc or something that melts easily. So you can melt it over that candle flame. And then you pour that liquid metal into that container with cold water. And it instantly gets solid, and it gets solid in a random form, in a random object, right? So we fish it out, and then we look at it and say, oh, what does this resemble? It's like reading in the looking glass, right? It's one of those
reading tea leaves or something like that kind of thing, right? Is it?
Yeah, it's the Oracle of Delphi or the Oracle of Lead. That is, I don't know. So we've been doing that as kids. I remember we would just stay up for all this so we could finally play with an open flame and the danger of handling a liquid metal, and don't pour it on the marble tabletop. No, let's use something else. So this was always fun for the entire family. We always did that.
It seems to be a tradition of New Year's, or ubiquitous, and no matter where you are in the world, there seems to be fire and explosions. So, this is to ward off spirits. Even the cultures that don't celebrate this as a New Year's, a change of the years, like the Chinese, for example, Chinese New Year comes later, but there's still a lot of explosions, and this is really representative of casting off evil spirits and bringing in a new or starting afresh. So there's a constant theme, but it's just reflected in different ways. The Polish tradition, I thought, was interesting, is that it's a very, very formal type of Sylvester, the same, called Sylvester in Polish as well. But everybody gets really dressed up to the nines. This is a formal event. And
we do too, right? With
right. Oh, okay.
with a tux or like a suit, and the ladies in a little black dress or something like that. So it's festive. It's formal affair.
That's great. And then there was my first time, of course, in Poland for New Year's, we were chosen to be the king and the queen of the ball, right? You get carried around and all that. The other thing is that you've got to buy all the vodka. You got to be careful of this. It's all right, which is fun. You just got to pay for all the vodka.
Do they eat the pickled herring in Poland like they do in Scandinavia?
Yeah. There's absolutely. Yeah, no, it's great. I mean, again, food abundance, the expression of abundance, getting as much food and bread, sharing it, and breaking bread, eating across the table, and of course lots of alcohol celebrations as well. So
it's vodka in Poland, right? Because it's champagne in Central Western Europe, or champagne or cava in Spain, or prosecco in Italy. And the Pandoro, right? It's a Christmas and New Year's Eve tradition. So you've probably seen those in the stores, and around the world they're selling this now. It's a lightly fluffy, cakey cake. It's called Pandoro. The golden bread, I guess, is the literal translation. And it's a soft, spongy, bready cake that is eaten with a meal or as a dessert. In Spain, they have a very unique tradition of eating. I mean, they eat lots of stuff, but as the clock strikes 12 on midnight, they eat exactly 12 grapes, a dozen grapes.
Yes.
To mark the full hour, and they're eaten with, I guess, you have some fermented grape juice with it, so it goes down quickly.
You got to wash it down with something.
Yeah, of course.
Nothing better than fermented. Okay, pop quiz. What's this one?
That's a burning tire. That's a dumpster fire. That's a symbol of 2020. What is this?
See, again, fire, open flame. Nigeria. Nigeria celebrates, like they burning of tires, right, to create these frames, again, to apparently ward off spirits. Our good friend Ty Roxon can confirm or deny this, but that's
not healthy, though, inhaling those fumes.
Well, exactly right. Probably there are other alternatives, kind of like melting lead, amongst children.
What they burn? What they burn in Ecuador? In Ecuador, they burn scarecrows.
Nice. What do scarecrows ever do to them?
Yeah, I guess it's. I don't know. I should have read the article, but if there's somebody from Ecuador or from wherever this tradition is observed outside of Ecuador, let us know why burning the scarecrow. But there's interesting Latino traditions as well on New Year's Eve, right? So in many South America.
Yeah, I'm doing pretty good today. Just preparing for what you're talking about.
Oh, okay. Well, it's about the underwear, right? So there's colored underwear in some. I think in Italy they wear red in order to be, I guess, fertile and have kids in the next year. So red is for love and fertility. There's other. No, there we go. And yellow. Well, now that you're talking about this, yellow is for prosperity and for wealth.
Gold.
And look what I'm wearing today.
Gold, right? Represents gold, physical color of gold.
Yeah. So allow me to move my camera. Don't get sick. This is still PG-13, just proving a point. See, yellow underwear,
No,
right?
that's official. That's not the colours of Muncher, the soccer team, is it? I'm sorry.
Oh, no. This is tonight. We're not talking about football tonight, right? This is ringing in the new year in a good golden way, right? So this is the purpose of this. So
well done.
Now, this is the first showing my underwear on an episode. It's clean, it's fresh. I promise you that, Mom. I did not. Right? Okay, good. So we settled that.
No, that's great. Well, as I said, but also we alluded to the fact this isn't actually a New Year tradition for everybody in the world. There are different practices around the world that, so it's always good, if you're going to a new culture that you're not really sure, is it actually going to be New Year? Could be just like any other day of the year. And you have to then make up your own celebrations if you do celebrate it, of course. So, yes, we should always be cognizant of that. This may be just every other day for somebody,
I remember one. I hope there's somebody from Scotland or with knowledge of Scotland watching. I've heard that in Scotland, the first person to walk into your house over the what's it called? The threshold of your front door. Better be a dark-haired man. Just somebody like me. So if you're in Scotland and you're looking for somebody to help you create a prosperous next year, call me. Give me 2 weeks notice next time. Fly me into Scotland. I'd love to come visit you in Edinburgh or in Glasgow or in Aberdeen, wherever you are. Make sure that you have plenty of Highlands whiskey prepared for me, and I will walk across your threshold, because apparently this hair color on a man walking into a Scottish house is good luck, because I'm everything but a Viking who's tall, blonde, and blue-eyed and is not bringing the good luck, right? So bring me. I'm ready for you, Scotland. I'll even roll the R's if that helps.
And if the fire and fireworks don't scare off the evil demons, he will.
Oh, well, after imbibing enough of the indigenous Irish beverages, I will scare off anyone.
And a wee bit of haggis.
No. Is that a New Year's tradition too, haggis?
No, the haggis. Never had haggis. But I'm sure that's probably eaten at some stage during New Year's. I don't know.
Food is a big thing for our family. So tonight, after we're done here, I'm gonna go in the kitchen and prepare the meat. There's a different food every year for us because we try to experiment, but traditionally it's either a fondue, not a cheese fondue, like it's more like a fondue where you dip all the veggies and meats into boiling either broth or even fat, and raclette, the Swiss tradition. I'm not sure if you've had raclette. That is this table grill hot device that you plug in, and you have your little mini pans that you stick into it to prepare your food items, and there's a grill top, lots of cheeses, heavy food, right? So not for us this year. This year for us, spilling the beans, it's going to be pork, Italian style pork with fennel seeds and lemon and garlic. We're gonna have to wash it down with a lot of garlic killing beverages, I think.
Well, I'm making a pavlova.
A what?
Pavlova.
That sounds Polish.
Well, no, it's actually not. It's pavlova is Australian. Of course, the New Zealanders would say they invented it, but it basically is a big pile of meringue that is then topped with a whole big pile of whipped cream and then fresh fruit, as much fresh fruit as you possibly can jam on the top of it. Pavlova, one of the things that I don't know whether it's New Year's. I just love pavlova and it's great. And Sue says here, we're going back to Japan here, suspicious to see the sunrise. So, and even better if it's Mount Fuji or dream about it. That's interesting. Nice. So, yeah, this is...
Sake in the morning?
Yum.
Miso soup with mochi. Oh, those mochi things. Oh, gosh. Yeah, people choke on it. That's a sticky affair. Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah. Oh, hey, Sue. Happy New Year, by the way.
Talking about merengue, we'll have a drink with merengue this night. It's the Chileans and the Peruvians argue over who came up with it first. So I'm not taking sides. So if you're from Peru or from Chile, leave me out of this conflict. It's called pisco sour. So pisco is a spirit made from grapes in the foothills of the Andes, and a pisco sour is made with egg white. So it'll froth a little bit on top. So we'll have a little bit merengue on the top of our drink. How festive is that?
That's great. We're making alcohol today too. We're making Irish cream. So we made some Irish cream, which is very nice. So we're going to be partaking of that. It's just okay. The year's kind of been a bit sucky. 2020 hasn't been the best, all right. And many people have struggled. We mentioned this at Christmas, and we put our hearts out to you. And there is a lot of great things on the horizon, as there always is. And this is a time for us to sit and reflect and be with people, or at least connect with people, and look forward to, even if you are not celebrating this as a change of a year, maybe celebrate it and think about that with the rest of the people around the world. And we wish everybody a wonderful 2021. Now, fast math would say to me that, no, I'm not even going to try it, because I don't do math live. People lose limbs when I do that. But this time next year, we're going to be up to like 300 episodes. It's going to be cool.
Ooh. Oh, and we have somebody. We have an Englishman explaining the Scots for us. Anthony, thank you. The Scots refer to New Year as Hogmanay. All right, I hope I pronounced that properly. Thank you, Anthony. That is great. Excellent.
Hogmanay. Yeah, probably something like that. You got to put it. So, and we lost. We lost a great actor, great Scottish actor, right? The best James Bond.
Sean Parry.
Yes, Sean. There's Alex Trebek. Yes, that was a sad
we lost a few.
On top, we lost a lot of people this year, not just famous people. So, yes, thank you for that, Hogmanay. Yes, and that's great.
If you live in a part of the world where it's already the next year, or if you're getting close, be safe. That means if you're outside, do not drive while inebriated. Okay, please.
That's right.
Your butt will land in jail, or worse, in the hospital. Don't do it.
No, do it.
If you don't have to go outside, stay home.
Yep.
Don't do it.
The good thing is, we're going to be home, and we can say yes. You can either say we're stuck at home, or we are honored to be home. We're here with the loved ones, and no matter how we connect, I'm going to be making phone calls as I did on Christmas Eve to everybody, because again, it's already New Year's tomorrow. I want to know what next year looks like from these people. Give me a bit of a heads up. See what's happening next year, right? That'd be great. And most people say, yeah, it looks pretty good. Come on in. It's cool, and the water's fine. But that's it. That's what we're doing. Just a quiet little night. So. Yeah, so I'm not going to say those words to you, sir. I'm not going to say them. Except I will say them in maybe when you can't understand. It's like Szlęcielewego Nowego Roku.
That was Polish, right?
Yes. It's a very complicated version. Like the other way is much easier, but the Polish have to complicate everything. Szlęcielewego Nowego Roku. Took me ages to try that, and of course, if you marry that with Christmas, so like Świąte Szlęcielewego Nowego Roku. That was,
and now you're just flexing.
That was that's right. I thought that was a great achievement when I finally got that down. So that was cool.
I'll say those words tomorrow, because guess what, people? Tomorrow is a Friday, which means it's not a weekend. It may be a holiday for some of you. You may be recuperating or waking up with a little bit of a split skull because you looked too deeply into your glasses tonight. We don't care. We're going to be here tomorrow, and we're going to talk about, well, you'll have to tune in to find out.
Tune in.
So have a wonderful end of year. Do some going inside, listen to what memories come up, reflect on what you did this year, what you did well this year, and what worked well for you. because some of the things, as Brett said, this year, a little bit over par, was not really what most of us wanted. Now, we can dwell on that, or we can actually reflect on what actually worked well this past year, what you accomplished, how you succeeded, how you were happy, how you were fortunate and blessed. So let us know. Comments, emails, tweeting. Oh gosh, I forgot to put this on here. There you go. This is how you find our socials. Let us know what worked well for you. We'll celebrate your year 2020. We celebrate our year 2020. Despite everything else that we don't want to look back on, in hindsight, 2020 was awesome because of you. All right? So let's not forget, whether it's the next year or you're still in the old year, if we dwell on what works and what is good for us, then the future is bright no matter what.
Absolutely. Fantastic.
See you in the next year, everybody.
All right. See you, mate. Bye.